More and more marketers are using word of mouth as a marketing tool. Marty, how do men and women differ in terms of using word of mouth?
Well, women use their mouths more. I mean, we've all seen those studies that are like women use twice as many words in a day as men do. Actually, I've seen those studies both ways. But when marketers are talking about word of mouth, of course, what they're talking about is passing along, a positive experience. Hopefully, a positive experience. You don't hope that they will pass along negative experiences and about a product or a service that they've encountered or purchased themselves. And women will do that much more than men. So when I'm saying, one of the key differences is that word of mouth spreads much faster amongst women than it does amongst men. And the reason for that is that just female gender culture and the content of conversation between and among women is different than the content of conversation amongst men. Men tend to prefer to speak about more impersonal things. So there's a certain amount of their conversation that is personal, but they don't like to get too personal, for one thing, because they're not as interested in all the intimate details of, what happened over lunch as women are. And women are. So before any of your viewers are saying, women just are more interested in the details of people's lives. But men tend to have a certain amount of personal conversation, not that personal, number one, and the rest of it, a higher proportion of their conversation is impersonal, so current events, politics, the job, etc. One researcher asked a group of students, men and women in the classroom, to bring in on a tape of what they thought was a great conversation that they had with somebody. And the guys would bring in, one of them brought in a conversation that was him talking with a coworker about their project. And he thought it was a great conversation. They got a lot done. They covered a lot of territory, etc. And the women in the class were like, "You call that a conversation?" There wasn't any personal component to it at all, which is kind of the definition of real conversation for women. And so women's conversation has a higher component of, this is what I did yesterday. I went and took my car to the repair place and the guy treated me terrible, or the guy treated me great. He explained everything to me. He showed me all the reasons. He showed me the part he took out. So women's conversation is made up more of everyday life, that's why it spreads faster. As a matter of fact, if you are successful as a marketer at surprising and delighting your female customers, you are then creating brand ambassadors, and it is much more likely that the word will get out amongst women than it will amongst men.